Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to listen up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. Waking up with Phil and Ryan. Well, Ryan, you can say waking up October, we'll call it 16th/17th, right? Going to bed with Phil and Ryan, waking up with Phil and Ryan. Listen up. We're going to continue this series episode. Next on the list, Ryan, you told me is Ayanna Patterson. Very quickly, sports podcast. I had to do this. I had the greatest honor of all time. I don't know if the list, like my professor said, if he had to draft broadcasters, number one overall pick, Ryan, pick one would be James Brown, CBS Sports NFL Today host. Ryan, he's on every Sunday, especially nowadays, this around this time of the year. So check him out. I know you're familiar with him. Sundays at 12 o'clock on CBS. Ryan, he does it all. All right, Ryan, CBS Evening News, 48 hours. He's been on 60 Minutes, CBS this morning. He's also, Ryan, an ordained minister. So, Ryan, I know I had to tell you that it was a greatest honor to talk to him. I love James Brown, man. And Ryan, I know that you would love him too. I wish you would have been there. James Brown, the man who does it all.
Yes, yeah, really cool honor. I'm sure to kind of talk with him, and yeah, he's definitely one of the most legendary announcers, broadcasters that there is out there.
All right, Ryan. Ayanna Patterson getting back down into UConn Huskies women's basketball. And we have just about what three, one, two, three weeks, if I'm counting right. And I know you have a little announcement for everybody after you go over this player profile for Ayanna Patterson. Spotlight on Patterson on Listen Up. You tell them what we did. We made it official. We're not going to South Carolina, but we are going back up to UConn. The trip was so beautiful, Ryan could just not turn it down.
Yeah, we're going to the USC game when the Trojans visit the XL Center. So yeah, it should definitely be a really fun one. I'm sure it's going to be just as loud. It'd probably be louder somehow than it was last year at Gamble. I'm sure it'll be a sold out crowd. So yeah, definitely definitely looking forward to that one. But yeah, today focus on Ayanna Patterson, redshirt sophomore from Indiana. This will be her third year on the team, but only the second season she has actually played. She had knee surgery, of course, last year in December that ended her season, and she did not play in any games last year. But of course, we got some good news from Gino about a week or so ago now, maybe 2 weeks, that she made a full recovery and was practicing in most of the drills. So it's good to have her back this season. But yesterday I did see that she was seen with a brace on her left arm. So that's something to monitor as we get closer to the season. Haven't seen any updates about her left arm, but like I said, something to monitor for sure as we get closer. Like you said, about 3 weeks till the season starts. But Patterson played about 30 games her freshman year, averaged 10 minutes, only 2 points and 2 rebounds per game. So I think it'll be interesting to see how the year off affected her since she couldn't really build on that momentum of playing all those games her freshman year. But Patterson has shown she can be a good defender and rebounder, and UConn can definitely use that in the paint. But I do remember her freshman year, she would rush a lot of those shots when she got the ball, missing some layups, some of those easy shots down low. So hopefully now that she has a little bit more experience, she can be more confident with her post moves. But unfortunately, I think my prediction this year for Ayanna is she's going to get a lot of garbage time. I think I don't really see her being a starter unless we have some injuries. I do think she's a good player with potential, but I don't think Gino has seen enough of her to play in the big games and the close games. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully she comes off of the surgery and really surprises a lot of people. I think it's definitely possible. She's in the rotation a lot off of the bench, but I think there's a lot of unknowns with Ayanna going into the season, especially seeing her in that brace yesterday.
Yeah, more bad news, huh, Ryan? And I tell you what, but it's you mentioned a lot of unknowns. That's like the biggest headline going through this roster breakdown, right? On Listen Up, it's like almost every player, especially the ones moving forward here, and we have to fit them all in, right? Before November, what is it, 7th? The season opens officially. So yeah, I mean, I think that we can pretty much say that word on every podcast on this roster breakdown from here on out because we haven't seen that much of them. And when we have, they usually go down with, the I word. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, Ayanna Patterson, great player. Again, we haven't seen a lot of her, right? And if you remember, Ryan, she led the Fort Wayne Homestead Spartans to one of its best seasons. So I'm watching highlights of her now. Has a great ability to get up and block the ball on her opponents. And obviously, she does well down low. But again, like you said, it's a lot of unknowns with a lot of these players, unfortunately, because we have not seen them a lot. All right, let's go over to comments, Ryan. They came through very well. UConn Huskies roster breakdown. This was from the Cadence Samuels video. Just Me said, Phil and Rye, congrats on 2.4 thousand subs. Keep it going. I'm anxious to see how Cadence Samuels does this year. I hope she finds confidence in that sweet 3-point shot she has. Speaking of Caitlin Chen, I was wondering why UConn picked her up because UConn has been undersized the last several years, but perhaps Gino and staff were preparing for another year of injury jinx with the injury recovery starting this season already. The addition of Caitlin Chen could be key to a successful year. And we hope, Ryan, that everybody enjoyed the KK Arnold interview.
Yeah, glad we got both those interviews out. I think they're doing pretty good. Like we said, really happy with those. So make sure you check those out if you haven't. But yeah, up to 2.42 thousand subscribers now. So thank you guys again for all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, I think, Cadence, hopefully she can find some confidence with her 3-point shot. I think she will. But like I said, it's yeah, a lot of unknowns, honestly, with Cadence Samuels as well. Just to see how much playing time she does get. And Kaylin Chen could be one of those players that affects her playing time. But I think Kaylin Chen is going to be a perfect fit for UConn this season. I'm really looking forward to her episode because we haven't really talked about her a lot. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about her this year.
Well, Ryan, don't tell head coach Brenda Freese this, the Maryland Terrapins head coach, but Maryland is my second team. Obviously, we know who number one is, but I kind of like this because obviously, if it doesn't work out for Caden Samuels, that is at UConn, which we hope it does. Steve Wiley, excuse me, said next year she'll be playing for Maryland. That's simple.
Yeah, her hometown team,
Right.
Sailor ended up back in Maryland, of course, this season. So yeah, I think it is definitely possible. Of course, we'd love for Cadence to stay here and get playing time and thrive in UConn. But if she does decide to transfer after the season, I think it probably could be a good possibility.
Now, we're not starting any rumors here, Ryan, but maybe does Gino and Brenda Freese have a little bit more communication than what we think they do? I don't know. Again, I'm not saying anything, Ryan. I'll leave that up to you. How's that? No, really though. Jason D'Amico, here he is, the man and the legend, said, "My hope is that Q hits the weight room during the off season and worked on her defense. Her confidence is through the roof, and with a little tweaking, she can possibly fill a few of the voids left from Aubrey G's absence. Peace."
Yeah, I think Cadence can definitely have a really good impact this season. Definitely a lot of things to work on during the off season. Like Jason said, defense is definitely one of those things that hopefully she did work on. So yeah, I think I'm excited to see Cadence amongst a lot of the players, but specifically Cadence, I'm excited to see what she worked on during the all season. And like I said, hopefully she gets plenty of opportunities this season, and we can really see how she improved from her freshman season.
Here's somebody else said, I've heard Gino say many times that Q has the most upside of any player. So, Ryan. And then someone else said she comes from a family of ballers. She's really good. So, hey, Ryan and I hope, I mean, we met, who was it? Aaliyah Edwards' family up there when we went last year. So, hey, we hope to meet Cadence. Well, I really want to meet Cadence Samuel's family because I'll be holding up that Maryland flag up there. No, I'm just kidding, Ryan. They'll jump all over me. I'm not going to take a Maryland flag up there in December. How about one more? Bond Riley, thank you for coming through. That's a name we haven't seen for a while. He said, only reason I picked her to be a possible portal person is if she doesn't get a lot of playing time, she may be impatient to get on the court. Not only that, Ryan, after you break down that comment, how do you feel again? I think it's just like speaking about free agency now. If you and I were going back 10 years ago, what I mean, because this portal thing wasn't around, 10 plus years ago, right? So I mean, it's how do you feel now? Do you like it or do you not like it? Because 10 plus years ago, I don't think you and I would be talking about. I mean, they go to a school 4 years and they're gone. But now, I mean, do you like that quote unquote free agency type of addition, that flash now at it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tricky one with the all the NIL stuff, all the transfer portal stuff. Obviously there's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but that definitely is one of the biggest reason is of course kids come to these schools and the bigger schools like UConn, the UConns and the South Carolinas, and obviously they want to play right out of high school. They're talented kids. But unfortunately, that's not how it works for all of them. Always competing with somebody else for that starting spot. So, I think that is a lot of the reason why a lot of these men and women in all sports hit the transfer portals to get more playing time potentially at another school. But I think I'm mostly a fan of it. But I think I will say it kind of takes it kind of takes some of the competitiveness out of the game. I think at some points, with all these players transferring to maybe the same schools and building like we like to call the super teams. So, I think at some points it takes away from some of the smaller schools who get some of these big time athletes and maybe they don't want to stay at these smaller schools and go to a bigger school, which is good for them because it gives them more maybe NIL opportunities. But I think for the smaller schools, I think they probably take the biggest hit.
All right, I'll leave it at that, Ryan. I will leave you with this. Again, a thank you so much to you and everybody. Like, subscribe, comment to the channel. Ryan, hopefully James Brown doesn't beat me up if I get this wrong, but I wanted to leave you with this. He said back when he was in college, his coach told him that I believe it's four or five main things to remember. First, right, number one is God. Two, your family. Three, your education, and then four, your sport if you play a sport. So in other words, yeah, fourth, Gino, that's right, fourth comes sports, right? But Ryan, no, in all seriousness, thank you again. Go check him out. Turn it on CBS on Sunday, Ryan, at 12 o'clock, the NFL Today. I'm counting on you. Thank you to James Brown, a true legend, a true leader. And that's what we need a lot of nowadays. Phil and Ryan, listen up.